What's up everybody, D-Man back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Shin Godzilla news and updates. So, if you guys aren't familiar with the current way I've been doing my videos, I have chapter times in the description below, so if there's any one story you want to hear me talk about in particular, you can jump down there, go find the chapter time, and skip straight to it. With that being said, we're going to jump into the news, starting out with a awesome Shin Godzilla tribute that GNA recently did. I'm not sure why he made it, like what the special occasion was, but regardless, it is a very cool picture of Shin Godzilla featuring all the different forms of Godzilla, including the forms on the edge of Godzilla's tail. I am a big fan of this piece. You guys know I love GNA. Also, we have a picture, it's a figure art from My Kaiju showing off the Shinagawa-kun X Plus figure in an awesome Shinagawa-kun recreation. I think this is a very well-made picture. It's a great example of toy art done right. There was a recent Shin Godzilla puzzle made. Well, it wasn't really a Shin Godzilla puzzle, it was a puzzle promoting the Godzilla store, that's where it's being sold, and it features the Godzilla store poster. The Godzilla store poster itself has Shin Godzilla on the front, so it's kind of a Shin Godzilla puzzle. There was a nice picture posted to Twitter showing off the size of the recent Shin Godzilla figures, or I guess some of these are actually the oldest Shin Godzilla figures that we have. So it features, from what I can tell, the Bandai, Sega, and Ben Presto Shin Godzilla, and it gives you a little bit of size comparison for each of them. With that, we will be jumping into the figure news. Starting off with what I feel is the lamest recent reveal, it is the Bandai Shin Godzilla statue version. For those of you who don't know, there was a recent Shin Godzilla statue installed in Japan. I don't remember what town square it was installed in, but it was installed in some town square in replacement of an old Heisei Godzilla statue. Turns out that, for whatever reason, Bandai decided that that was a good statue to model one of their figures off of. So, we have an upcoming Shin Godzilla statue version coming out soon, which just, like I said, it just feels weird. Like, I don't know why anyone would want this. Unless you're like a super hardcore Bandai collector, you gotta get it, I guess. Neca recently announced a Shin Godzilla Awakening version, or a Shin Godzilla Spitfire version. So this is a variation on their original Shin Godzilla release from Neca, which came out a couple months ago, maybe a year ago. For those of you who have followed the channel for a while now, you know I'm not a big fan of that Shin Godzilla figure. I own both the SH Monstars and the Neca version of the Shin Godzilla figures, and I have just always found the SH Monstars version of it to be far superior, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, and a lot of people favor the Neca Shin Godzilla. However, I think when you really do own both figures, it becomes very obvious which one is a better figure, more quality overall. So I have bagged on this figure in the past, but that's not to say that they're horrible figures. I think the Shin Godzilla has a lot of missteps, not necessarily even in terms of paint or design or sculpt, but mostly in terms of the way the articulation is presented. I hate the tail, I hate the way they handle the tail, and I also really dislike what they did with the bottom half of the body. And that doesn't look like these issues have been fixed from the recent new Shin Godzilla from Neca, although it is still a budget collector's figure. I think if you're on a budget, this is a fantastic figure, you should go grab it. I own the SH Monstars Awakening version, which means once I get this Neca Shin Godzilla, I can do another comparison video. I can tell everyone why I personally, more than likely at this point, why I think the SH Monstars version is superior. Based off these pictures alone, I don't necessarily think these are amazing. I do have to give a shout out to this figure for being a little bit more movie accurate than the SH Monstars Awakening version, was considering that the red streaks are all throughout the body unless you're looking at the tail and the neck portion from chest up. Once you look at that, it's all purple, and that's very movie accurate. However, my Shin Godzilla from SH Monstars is purple all the way through the body. I think it's a little cooler stylistically for a figure, but I appreciate Neca going movie accurate with this one, although the chest should be much more purple than it is in this case, because Neca really missed out on the chest region. One thing that a lot of people have been speculating on is if they will have replaceable heads for this Neca figure, just like the SH Monstars version did. Based off the reveal photos we have, I can say probably not. We most likely won't have a replaceable head for this Shin Godzilla, just because you look at all of them, and all of them have the split jaw mouth version of the figure there. It does not look like we're going to be getting a replaceable head. Also, one thing that I do dislike is the way that the atomic breath is presented. It is coming straight out of Shin Godzilla's mouth, which of course is not movie accurate. Shin Godzilla's breath starts pretty far away from his mouth. It's like a flamethrower in that way, or a flame torch. But here it comes straight out of his mouth, and there's it looks like a weird plug on the inside of his mouth where you can plug it into. I wonder if this split jaw will close. It doesn't look like it'll be able to based off the way the membrane is being handled on the inside of the mouth. But, you know, it has me curious enough to speculate on. We also have a tail beam for Shin Godzilla, so it did follow the SH Monster Arts pattern in that regard of having both a beam for the mouth and the tail. However, this one does not have a fire beam for Shin Godzilla, it just has the purple beams, which is alright. The tail beam looks a little thicker than I'd like it to be, but that's alright, and it has a split so that it's a translucent split between the tail and the atomic breath, or the atomic tail beam, so it's a little bit more movie accurate. You know, Neca doesn't really come with stands for their atomic breath, so you can't really fault them for having it attached to the mouth and the tail, or I shouldn't, but I'm just a very critical person, I guess, and so I don't really love the way that they do that. I think if they just came with a figure stand for the beams, it would be a little bit better. Also, there is one image of the Shin Godzilla tail beam where it looks like the tail is red. However, we can see from the other angles of this picture that it is the purple tip of the tail, meaning Shin Godzilla won't have a replaceable tip of his tail, which is alright. So I'm curious to know, guys, are you going to be picking up a Shin Godzilla Atomic Breath version from Neca? If so, tell me why. Maybe it's because of price, or maybe it's because of you're just a hardcore collection. I'm interested to know. Like I said, for me personally, I will be picking up the figure, but only because I just am a hardcore collector when it comes to that. I'm not hardcore enough to go pick up a Bandai statue version, though. Also, we have the announcement from Neca that there will be more Neca figures for Godzilla coming soon, and by that they mean SDCC. Once that rolls around this month, we will see more Neca figures, more Neca reveals for Godzilla. I don't know if that means we will just see the actual Shin Godzilla Atomic Breath version in person with some more accessories that we don't know about just yet, or if that means we will be getting an entirely new Godzilla figure. My fingers are crossed for that one. I would really like to see Neca's version of Godzilla Earth. You guys know I'm a little bit disappointed in the way that SH Monster Arts duped everyone into buying their Godzilla Phileas version before they pulled a nice switcheroo on you and said, no, just kidding, Godzilla Earth's coming out soon. So I'm interested to see if Neca will be able to get the rights to Godzilla Earth and what they'll do with them if they do wind up with them. We also have images of the new Yuji Sakai Shin Godzilla figure coming out from X+, and it is gorgeous. I am very excited to get my hands on this one because I'm not big into X+ collecting. However, I do think that this is one of their best figures that they have, and I have wanted to get into X+ collecting for a while now. And with the big bombshell that was dropped on me recently that the Tanaka Studios Shin Godzillas are resin kits and you have to paint them yourselves, I have decided that, yes, I will be going to X+ instead of Tanaka Studios because it's just easier that way and cheaper. I'm not going to spend $700 just to get my figure painted and then sent to me put together. I would rather just buy the figure put together, painted, and everything's good to go right away. Maybe someday in the far future I will get into those Tanaka Studios because they are gorgeous when they're done right, but I could not do them right, so it is what it is. That being said though, this figure does look absolutely amazing. It looks like I've said in the past, it's based a lot on the original animatronic for Shin Godzilla based off the head sculpt, meaning that it won't be 100% movie accurate. However, there are some angles of this figure that have been revealed that show off a very movie accurate version of this figure, which it's the same figure. I guess it just depends on the angle you're looking at it, that it looks more like the animatronic versus the CGI, whereas some angles it looks more like the CGI versus the animatronic. Either way, I'm very excited for this figure. Usually X+, even their Yuji Sakai figures run around $150 to $200, so it's not horribly expensive like the Tanaka Studios version, so hopefully I will be able to pick that up whenever it comes out. I'm not quite sure when it does come out though. So a little while ago I talked about the Shin Godzilla from Canal City thing. I didn't do it justice. I found out only after I recorded my video what the whole thing actually was. So originally I saw the commercial and I did a news update about it and I showed off one of the pictures, and I only realized afterward that it was an actual presentation animation, a full show, where the whole side of a building in Canal City was turned into a giant display for Shin Godzilla. They had a nice little 4D-esque thing going on where they had Shin Godzilla presented on the screen in terms of animation. You got to see a lot of cool animation things with Godzilla evolving and everything like that. And you also got the water effects to go along with it at the Canal City fountains. You guys can go check out the full video linked down below. It's very, very cool. So on April 26th, a little while ago, there was a Shin Godzilla escape room in I don't know how to say this word. In Kabukichi, Tokyo? I really don't know how to say the word, but in Tokyo, alright? There was a Shin Godzilla escape room. Basically what it sounded like was a lot of people were locked in this room, like how escape rooms are, and then they had to solve problems in order to prevent Godzilla from coming on land and prevent destruction and try and save as many lives as possible in order to escape the room. If they saved a lot of lives, they would make it out successful. If they let everyone die, they would make it out as failures. I'm not sure how successful this thing was. I didn't hear any updates on it after the announcement for it, but it's pretty interesting. So if you want to read more about it, you can go check out the links down below. There's also an awesome picture floating around. I don't really know what this is, if it's an art piece or if it's an actual new angle of the atomic breath scene from Shin Godzilla, but regardless, it's very cool looking. So what it is it features Shin Godzilla shooting his atomic breath up into the sky. We did see that in the Shin Godzilla movie, so it is potentially a new angle of the CGI from the film. However, a lot of people have been calling this an amazing fan art online, and if this really is fan art, it's incredible. I don't know how they pulled it off, but it looks so screen accurate. I was convinced for a long time that it was just a new angle of the atomic breath scene that was revealed to us from a Twitter post. I don't know. Either way, regardless, it's really cool to look at. So that does it for this one, guys. Really quickly, I've noticed that YouTube has been trying to kill itself lately with some of the recent things it's been doing. 3% of YouTube users now no longer see custom thumbnails, regardless of what the content creator does. And also, there's the whole thing where the YouTube sub box is going to start turning into their recommended feed. They're going to basically do away with the sub box. So if you want to help me out, I would really appreciate it. All you gotta do is click that bell icon next to the subscribe to get notified every time I make an upload, every time I post a video. I know a lot of you guys come back and check here about daily or every other day anyways, so you guys usually see my uploads, but just please do me the favor and check that sub box notifier. I would really appreciate it. Also, you guys, I've never asked for anything like this before, so you know I wouldn't be asking for it if it wasn't important to me. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man, out.